there's a change of scenery. Yes.
Yeah, we got kicked out of our house for letting our kids run around naked in the front yard too often. The HOA put a lien on our house, so we had to buy a trailer so we could live in the trailer while we argue with the HOA about bylaws.
Hi, I'm Ian.
And I'm Megan.
Welcome back, or welcome to
the Memory Millionaires podcast.
We are survivors of government service,
Cancer,
world travel,
and parenting. We're here to share stories and insights to help illuminate your path towards a happier, healthier lifestyle. Do you think actually anyone would believe that story?
No, but I do think our neighbor doesn't want our kids running around screaming outside, but this is a neighborhood for kids.
Yeah.
It's best for kids. No, since we stopped traveling, we've only wanted to stack the money, organize the lifestyle, find the jobs, build up enough permission for ourselves to do it again. And we, mostly you, just kept asking, what are we waiting for? What is it? Is it all of our kids out of diapers? No.
Well, that was one of the
barriers we invented.
We created
resistance
for ourselves.
Mm-hmm. Opinions of others. It's not ourselves. Economic factors. It's not ourselves. When I remember the last time we did this, knowing what I know now about the time we spent traveling, the things I thought were going to stop me would never stop me. No way would I put, I don't know, lazy weekends in place of even the hottest days, the most uncomfortable days traveling. I wouldn't elect. So
when you say the last time we did this, what is this?
Mm-hmm.
Because the last time we had a name for it, we called it Karimampo.
Last time, the name for it was also, it's our intention with it, which was to travel with purpose towards no set destination. And we did that. We rarely stayed in one place greater than 2 weeks. And that was even
long.
Like that, we got uncomfortable when it was like that. I can remember staying in Wisconsin and itching to get out of there because we were with the same people for too long. It was a freedom. It was a life of far more freedom than I think I've ever had.
Number 4 on our list of family values.
Yeah, I'm realizing just how much I personally desire freedom. Like what I did as a kid to have some, to enjoy some. I would just drive around my town for hours, just driving because I could go anywhere I wanted to, and I did. I didn't go far. I wasn't so brave.
So for you equate being able to go adventure, travel, see new places as freedom.
If it's something you desire most and you're able to go do it, I think that's freedom. You're free to do what you choose, to live the way you choose to live. We're free to make the choice to lighten up, get in an RV, and live this way in order to do the things we want to do when we want to do them. We're free to do that. I even had a friend who doesn't agree with this lifestyle. He doesn't think this is a good idea at all, but that we're free to do it. This is America. You can do whatever you want as long as it doesn't hurt anybody. And I am hyper cautious, hyper critical of what we're up to because now someone's coming with
3 someones are coming with.
Yeah.
When out a lot of input.
Mm-hmm.
Like we talk about this, but how much do they understand is hard to discern at their ages.
Mm-hmm.
6, 3, and baby, he's along for the ride.
They all are.
So a lot of people would consider what we're doing unconventional, right? We've talked about this.
Fringe.
And we...
Maybe a little less so, depending on what your Instagram feeds like.
It depends on what you're curated to see in this world.
I see it being popularized.
But we've definitely curated what we see.
Yeah.
So for the average person at home watching Netflix, this may seem unconventional, and the trailer is something you take out on the weekends or for a week or two during the summer, and in the winter it's in storage
At
and
the
you're not
most, it's like a weekend a month.
right. And we have chosen very consciously a different path, which is choosing to make this our home, that we can travel as we see the opportunity that suits our life, our schedule, and the pursuits that we want to enjoy with our children, the things that we want to teach our children.
Yeah, it's going to facilitate togetherness too. You can't not be together in this. You can't not be a team moving about in this.
Yeah, and what we learned in Akadiwampo was there's seems to be two things that happen when couples decide to live the full-time RV lifestyle, which is either this is great, we're an amazing team, we work so well together, or I can't stand being with this person this much. And we already know that we operate, I believe that we operate better when we're together. We make an amazing team once we learned how to communicate. And we're still learning how to communicate. Sometimes things still just don't go well because we hit these walls of this is a subject, or this is just a barrier that we haven't learned to communicate through yet. But in general, we know that we operate really well in this mode. We know that definitely our oldest, and it seems apparent with our now 3-year-old, that when they have a task or a job or there's a target in mind for them, it's like, okay, I'm on board. I can do the thing to get us to this point. So going back to you talking about being a teenager and pursuing your freedom, just like a quick overview. Ian Landholt, Landstein.
That's a whole nother story, huh?
It is.
We could mind our names when we got married.
When in your life, was it when you're a kid or a teenager, or was it later in life when you started to put the pieces together that you wanted to live your life outside of what was normal or what was expected of you?
When did it start to... Well, I started understanding that's what I wanted after looking at how I was, acting, what choices I was making. When I was a kid, the choice to go outside and be away from the house for hours at a time, drinking hose water just to keep going and eating garbage food, but to stay out. Teenager, wanted to stay out. Even in the Navy, I wanted to stay out. I wanted to get away from the boat, wanted to get away from the barracks and go and do stuff. And anytime I'm trapped, anytime I'm stuck somewhere, I'm trying to cope. I'm trying to cope my way through it, because it's not, I don't feel I feel stuck. So it was me reflecting on all that when probably around when my dad died.
So you were in your 20s?
Yeah. And I traveled.
Late 20s.
And I broke
20s.
free a couple different ways. I traveled with the Navy, traveled with
You
you.
were 30.
Oh yeah. What is that? That's well, in the life expectancy of a male right now, that's a midlife change. So I didn't know I wanted an unconventional lifestyle. I just knew I wanted more of that. More adventure, more freedom. I wasn't coping with that stuff. I was enjoying that stuff.
When you say coping, you mean using something to kind of numb
Video games.
the feelings of boredom and discontent.
Mm-hmm. Something to simulate and stimulate that idea of adventure. I'm not thinking of, well, I could think of a time when I was coping really heavily with it, and that was when I was in the barracks room on the Navy base. I had a car, I had a place to go, but it was only one place that I adventured to, and that was my family's spot on Vashon. And I didn't venture off the path between where I lived and there. And I was coping with that lack of freedom by video games and alcohol. In the video game, I got MVP status. I was...
How did that make you feel?
Well, it's really good at capturing your psyche and putting you up on a pedestal while drinking in your barracks room. This is good. You're doing good, and keeping you in that cycle. And you're talking to other people, so it seems like you're being social, but it's not real. That was how I was getting my fix on adventure and freedom, was through a screen rather than actually outside and doing it. Even when I got into a relationship, it wasn't until some of the guys on the boat actually picked me up out of it and started bringing me around to places. Then I started to really get adventurous for myself. Where could I live? What car could I have? What about this cute girl I met at Starbucks? Could I date her?
Was that me?
Yeah.
Oh, I was a cute girl at Starbucks. It's interesting that we met at Starbucks because I don't drink.
Well, we were both new to the area. We didn't know where to go.
Yeah,
We didn't know what we liked.
Also, neither one of us actually were initiating this trip to Starbucks either,
That's
right?
true.
Like, we were just both tagging along.
It was when I was 30, and I looked back at all the things that I really felt improved me. No, not improved me. Fed me. It wasn't the cars. It was the freedom the cars gave me. The power they gave me. It wasn't the Navy. It was the travel and the challenge. No, if I don't sound excited, it's because there's a massive. I'm 38 now. The time I got to be free and travel and do the thing I wanted to most was only 10 months in the last 8 years that I've wanted to be doing that. So yeah, maybe I sound downtrodden about it because it's not something I've been doing. Yeah, I re-entered a system that wanted me to stay in a box, come to work at this time, leave at this time. Don't try to change anything. When you go somewhere, it's on our terms and our way to stay somewhere. You have to be in this box. And you get some money. And you can afford one of these trailers and you can go somewhere on the weekends. There you go. Now you get to be free. Just 3 days though. Otherwise you got to take leave.
Going back to, you living this life up until your time in the Navy, of you were craving adventure or freedom or getting away, but for you it just was manifesting as, I'm just going to go in my car and drive. Not really any plan or any kind of you weren't specifically adventuring to a place or to an event or anything. It was just, I need to get out of here. I have a car, I have some gas, no plan. And then you enter the system of the Navy. You're kind of stuck in that system. You're in the barracks. There isn't a lot of freedom for you, and you're in a totally new place. So in this totally new place, the only adventure you're getting is going to visit family, people people you're familiar with and make you feel comfortable, love you.
Yeah, that wasn't even adventure. That was comfort. I was seeking comfort there. No, well, adventure was happening when I got here. I was brought here to meet the submarine I was going to serve on, and I started to meet the submarine and the guys, and I didn't do a good job of that. Like, I didn't really process, this is going to be my job, this is going to be where I live, this is the submarine I'm going to sink in. It was all resist. When am I going home? I want to go play video games and drink beer and get drunk to get away from this mess. And I want to go on Fridays to go see my family who do love me, so that I can hear that it's okay. Like, what I'm up to is okay. I didn't tell them about drinking and shitty roommates and video game obsession. But yeah, I guess it just wasn't there. There was little glimpses of it, the freedom, but I couldn't recognize them as something that was feeding me. Not then. I do now. So yeah, the time when I'm 30 and I can look back and reflect on what's I like taking care of systems. I like being a mechanic, figuring things out.
You take care of a system
in an RV.
In this RV.
Yeah, I loved it in the class in Odessa, the original one. It was fun. Immediately we had to do maintenance to it, figure out diesel this and electrics that. Yeah, I still like it. I still like thinking about tank levels and the pump, and why is the pump coming on every now and then? I think there's a leak somewhere. Where am I going to find the leak? How am I going to find the leak? Explaining it to our boys. We're on tanks right now. You move water from that tank to that tank. And then we need to let it out.
And one's already shown interest in that system and how does it work? And I want to know the levels. And I want to see what it is.
Yeah, oh yeah, he wants to see the levels go down.
Yeah. He
That's
wants to
fun.
see the poop go out the
Oh yeah, that too.
line, right? When we met, I was at a point in my life where I was full on adventure and freedom. I'm 20 years old. I'm going to do whatever I want. I might not have a lot of money, but I'm going to figure out and I'm going to make these things happen. And maybe a bit of a whirlwind when we started dating of like I always had some kind of trip, some kind of plan.
Oh yeah, there were a lot of road trips.
And so you kind of were thrown into my fast pace,
I'm gonna go do it.
gonna go do it life. And you never
Let me think.
showed any resistance or hesitation or
Yeah.
concern even. Like I can think of 4 long distance road trips I took in the first year that we were together.
Mm-hmm.
Possibly more than that.
Not resistance to it, but I did have that like I don't know, worried. And you weren't the best driver. Like, and you were driving a lot. Oh, through the night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I took a lot of road trips that weren't wise.
Oh my gosh,
Made decisions that were
our kids
unwise.
are gonna do this.
Our kids might do this. They are going to do something
Mm-hmm.
that is going to make us shake our heads or cry, or
Worry.
there's going to be a lot of worry.
There's gonna be a lot of worry.
So
Mm.
when I said, you want to take a road trip to Illinois and Arkansas to see our families after a year of dating? A year?
I don't know if it was here. Was it that summer?
No, that first summer I went with Kate and my sister. So we'd been dating.
No.
Yeah.
No, we went first. And then you went with Kate and your sister. We went first. I was still in the Navy. That was the first summer.
Yeah, that was the first summer. So we hadn't been dating long.
Wow. Yeah. What was that? That was like 3 weeks.
We've been dating like 4 or 5 months.
And we went on a road trip. I remember just wanting to be home, not disliking you. I just wanted to be chilling, like not driving anymore. In Andrew. No. Was that in Andrew?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I was co-signing a loan for a car for you only a half a year in.
Like 4
To
months
dating?
in, yeah.
Jeez. I would if that was my kid, I would advise him against that. Don't you get it? She's got what credit? Well, I saw an example of someone exploring more of those desires instead of tamping them down and coping with the lack of them. I guess that's what we're doing again.
I don't know if I've ever stopped that desire to go and do and see.
No, mine's only grown, yeah.
It's been periods of thinking that I needed to plug into the system for some reason. I need to get on this path that's expected of me.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wait. Now I remember why I'm not on this path. It's almost like I've been on this trajectory of the unconventional
Mm-hmm.
since I made the decision as a 16-year-old to travel abroad.
Or since when your mom busted you out of the Midwest.
That also, but I'm considering when I'm making the choices. And when I'm making the choices, I'm deciding to travel abroad as a 16-year-old and spend part of my junior year of high school living in Spain. And then I come back and go into the system of public school again. And I'm like, oh, got to get off this ride. And then I go to college because that's what I believe I'm supposed to do. And I go to college and I went on this amazing Technicolor adventure and then realized, oh, nope, got to get off this ride. Well, getting off that ride meant
plugging back into
now
the
I have
system.
to get back into the system of I need a job and I can't possibly live with my parents or my friends' parents because then what are people going to think about me? So I have to have my own apartment. And then, there's
3 cats.
there's all the stuff that comes with that. And then, fitting in, okay, but I can still 2 times a year road trip to California and do, an 1,800-mile drive
In 2 nights.
and do a 5-day trip.
Gosh, I remember when
twice a year. I can plan a big trip to go somewhere every summer.
Yellowstone with Kate.
I can go to Yellowstone. I can drive to Arkansas 2 summers in a row. I can, I can fit in the adventure. But then the more I got plugged into like the responsibility of the government job and that trajectory, and
Encouraged to. You were encouraged to by everyone.
and encouraged to, but also like if you want to take time off, you gotta save up all your leave, and you can't use all your leave. And like, well, I also want to go snowboarding on the weekends, and I also want to go to concerts on the weekends, and I also want to go whatever it is I'm enjoying doing. How do I take that trip to wherever it is I'm going and still do all the other things? So those longer trips that I've always enjoyed start to dwindle down because, well, throughout the year I'm taking 3 days here and 1 day there and 2 days there to do all the things that I enjoy in my life on the regular. And you're with me in most, I mean, not all of the constant road trips. We'd been dating for 4 months, and I said, let's go on a road trip. We can visit your family. We can visit my family. You're like, you were in. You were down for it. One of my best friends, 2 of my best friends were opening a brewery in California, and I said, let's make a road trip out of it and visit all the breweries along the drive, and you were in for it. Let me take you to this music festival in Arkansas, and we're going to party for 5 days, and we're going to celebrate your birthday and not sleep. And, have an adventure. Just trust me. It's going to work out. And you were on board.
Well, you're my spirit guide. Like that spirit of adventure and freedom was one I yearn for and long for. It came from you. You came into my life and it was a green light. The people around me otherwise rarely gave green lights. They were all, ooh, yellow, red. No. You got to be here, 6 o'clock on Monday. You can't possibly go on a adventure. You got to be at work the next day. We did that plenty of times.
So it was like giving you permission to. The thing
You're
that
doing it again.
The thing that I've been thinking of doing, I can do if I want to.
You're doing it again. You see how fast I got a truck and trailer? You gave me permission to get one.
Yeah. Well, I've really learned to listen to my intuition more. I think I had a period of, I don't know if it was my intuition or it's just like, this is the idea and I'm just going to do it. I'm not going to think about it too much. I'm just like, this is the thing I want to do and I'm going to do it. Where now it's more of a conscious decision. Where
do I really want this?
Do I really want this? And feeling it in my body. And when it came down to, we're talking about this thing again. We're talking about...
Always. We kept talking about it. We never stopped talking about it.
Talking about it again.
What do we talked about what we're waiting to happen before we get to do it again.
And then it finally got to the point of, I said, this is the time. This is it. What are we waiting for?
Enough money. Sell the house. You'll have enough money.
Yeah.
Waiting for the right RV. No, there's not a right
such
RV.
Thing as a right RV.
Well, it's whatever you have.
Babies to be out of diapers.
A certain amount of clients. Yeah, babies to be out of diapers. They were all these arbitrary things that...
They were excuses rather than reasons.
And
the more... Well, for me, it wasn't even a brain conscious decision. It was a body conscious decision.
To do this?
To do this. It was feeling in my body, knowing, reflecting back on the decision we made to do the Catawampo in the first place, and reflecting back on how that felt, that adventure, even the lowest parts of the adventure.
I can remember. I can remember having so little worry.
Yeah, and you can feel that. You just visibly
sunk down,
relaxed into that.
Yeah.
And that's a lot of what I've been learning in my work with Emily and other other guides that I've been seeking and learning from is that our bodies, like a lot of people have probably heard the book, Our Body Keeps the Score. Our body remembers. Our body remembers the trauma, and our body remembers the pleasure. And you had a visceral reaction to that memory of what it felt to be like on the cotton womble. And I think most people, if they pay attention to how things feel in their body when they think of, whatever it is, whether they think it's of something that is bad for them, or whether they think of something that was amazing, you will feel it in your body. Well, my body kept telling me, this is a line for us. This is, every time I thought of it, it just felt like it's all going to be easy. And it's not easy, but it's going to be.
No, but then you had the opportunity to do it with the boys. I think that's a good place to leave off. Talk about how it went and what we're going to be up against.
Yeah, because I had the opportunity, and I could have backed out when I learned you weren't coming along. I had the opportunity to say I can't.
I could have absolutely gone.
But I knew that trip with the boys was in alignment with the way we want to live our lives. So for me, it was, if we want to live like this, we should do this trip, because it's either a yes, we can handle this, or no, we can't handle this. Just because this is where the conversation evolved. The conversation evolved to this point. Where are you paying attention or ignoring the messages your body is sending you?
What are you coping?
What are you coping? Are you dealing with chronic headaches or stomach aches? Or is there a song you hear or a book you read or a place you see when you're watching TV that every time you see your body, it's just like, I can relax now.
I was wondering what you were going to cue them in on.
Pay attention to
when
it.
do you relax? Yeah.
When does your body relax? Because when I relax, I know that I'm making the right choice.
Or excite.
When
you get excited about something. I get excited about hitching up the RV and going somewhere.
I have been able to cue more into, because I have gotten to myself into a state where I do feel just a lot more at ease, that now what I'm noticing is when my body is in a state of stress and contraction and things aren't aligned. And I'm noticing that in myself, overbooking myself and working too much and making commitments that are beyond what I am currently able to keep up with. And just 2 days ago, I told Colin, after breakfast, I have to go to work. And he said to me, I wish you didn't have to go to work. And my body instantly just had that reaction of, I should just stay here. I shouldn't go to work. I should just stay here. So yeah, my call to action is pay attention to
how you respond and react to opportunity, to choices,
to the things that,
and pay attention most to where you relax. I think that's actually the key, because there's plenty of things that stress us out.
Yeah.
These
When
days.
does your body
when do you
relax? And it could be just noticing that,
and not with muscle, painkiller, alcohol, cannabis. When you talk about something like, could be having another baby.
It's when your fists
getting a new job.
When you sink down into the chair, when you feel like your breath is getting
when you talk about your garden,
slowing down.
Talk about what you're doing this weekend, and then what is that? What is that you need more of? That's good stuff.
Wait, don't go. If you found value in this episode, please subscribe and share via review or post how this episode complemented your life.
Thank you for listening. Connect with us at Instagram or Facebook at Memory Millionaires. Be well.